I think you did it, Dork Mistress.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the 2025 Roller Derby World Cup, hosted by the fearless Bruisers in Innsbruck, Austria. This is game H6. It does have a number. I don't have the number with me. Apologies.
Oh my goodness.
If I do the maths, I can't even do the maths.
H6, right.
Yeah. So we are on the Sisu Mouthguards track, and this is Team Sweden versus Team Argentina. Sweden in yellow and Argentina are going to be in blue. And we are just going to the national anthem, sorry, the anthems, and this is Sweden's. And now we are moving to the anthem for Argentina. So, welcome to Sweden, Argentina. I am Dork Mistress and I am here with...
I am Double H. I am so excited to be calling this game with you, Dork. It's been a long time in coming. I think we possibly have called together in Malmo. I want to say, did we not? We've never called. And I have a really hard time believing this, but
And we are joined by our fabulous producer, Alex is on fire.
Hello, Alex. I'm very excited to get going. Should we do some rosters
Very
real quick?
quickly.
Go ahead.
So we have Team Sweden. We have 11 Frolle, 12 Leitlin, 13 Freya, 14 Spino, 17 Ebermet, 2 Nordberg, 20 Smertun, 2077 Kafka, 23 Rhino, 24 Stopless, the captain for today, 247 Bielin, 404 Partio, 666 Hannah Santana, 817 Scandi Crush, 90 Vanilla Slice.
We'll get to the Argentina roster in the next break. We have Partio and let's see who we have on the line. It's Flor, I believe, for Argentina. Argentina in the blue, Sweden in the gold uniforms, and our jam is away.
Just noting these two teams did play together in our DWC 2018. Sweden taking the win at 197 to 148. And either team, I think this is a preview again for the quarterfinals. This is why I'm excited about this game.
Nice tripod turns into a 2-all up front, keeping Flor at bay, but Flor's only got 2 to beat past the pivot line. Pushing forward against Hannah Satana for lead jammer status, Argentina.
I think with defense this strong, it's if you're pushing out up the front, you start dropping blockers and it gets easier to get through as a jammer.
Sweden doing a great job reforming that 3-wall. That's now a 2-wall, keeping Flor at bay. We do have a blocker in the penalty box, the Sisu mouthguard penalty box. And that's a call.
Argentina, the jammer looking like they just wanted that to end so that they could go back to their bench.
I know the feeling. And so on the WFTDI start line for Argentina, let's talk a little bit about there. And we do have a timeout, I believe. Oh, we've got some whistle bleed through, perhaps. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got Rayo on the WFTDI start line for Argentina. A nice 2-wall in back for Sweden sets up. Looking for some room, nicely slicing up that pack, but a good reform up front with Sweden. There's no pack being called, and that is going to be lead jammer status for Argentina again.
And it's again because they're pushing out up front. Sweden are having to drop blockers to bridge, and that's giving Argentina the momentum to get lead.
Sweden only able to throw up a 2-wall that turns into a 1, and that is a 4-point pass for Flor. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that is Rayo.
And we've actually gone all the way back to turn 3 and 4.
Rayo doing a great job, decides to call it. Sweden needs to keep a little reforming action going, Dork Mistress. It looks like a lot of individual blocking right there.
And also, they're letting Argentina push them to the front. They should actually be trying to take the back of the jam line. The WFTDI jam line?
You got it. You nailed it. All right, we've got 2 blockers on the track for Sweden and only 2 in the penalty box. So let's take a look. That's number 90 on the jammer on the WFTDI start line, Vanilla Slice.
And it's
looks like Wari for Argentina with a hop and a skip to be lead jammer for Argentina.
With the jammer ability here, having any blockers in the penalty box is going to make it easier for you to get lead jammer.
And that was hidden and quit it. Points denied for both teams. So we're looking at a score now of Argentina 10, Sweden nothing. Just a couple of minutes into this game, Dork Mistress.
But that's such an important, psychological shutout by Argentina.
And they knew that there was still a blocker in the box, I believe, for Sweden. Oh, nope, now back on the line, no?
No, standing on the edge of the Sisu Mathgard's penalty box.
So back on the line, that looks like Maki. No, it is not Maki. Is that Mania?
It's Ebermet jamming for Sweden up against Wari.
Thank you, Wari. Oh, Sweden not lead jammer status. That is going to be a penalty. So this is going to be a power jam in favor of Argentina.
And could not be at a more crucial time in these opening first few tentative minutes.
I appreciate your stick-to-itiveness. My perspective on the skater numbers is often a little hasty. Getting around for not lead. All right, so we're going the full 2 minutes on this.
And picking up on your point, Sweden, it looks a little bit frantic in the pack.
Yeah, oh, there's a huge hit at turn 1, pulling back all the way. Argentina asking blockers to set up, pulling back.
Oh,
Shiba looking for some space and has a little bit of room to work. Sweden trying to set up that 3-wall and back. Meanwhile, up at the front, Argentina doing a solid 4-person setup.
I think this is the first time we've seen all game where Sweden are at the back. They've clearly listened to me.
They knew. They're listening right now. All right, both jammers in play. We just have about 29 seconds left in this jam. Still have not completed scoring passes. And there's I believe, a forearm being assessed to a blocker on Sweden. And that is almost that's the end of the jam. Almost. Here we go. 1 second left.
No,
it looks like the scoreboard is in. Okay, so yes, we had a little bit of a scoreboard difference than what was happening on the track. But for that particular jam, we had a couple of points able to be scored from Argentina.
So we have an official review has been called by Sweden.
Yes.
Sweden in these first 5 minutes have already picked up 7 penalties.
Well, let's take an opportunity to be able to talk about Argentina's roster. We've got Temis, we've got Shiba Baby. Temis is 03, Shiba Baby 05, 13, Captain Barbosa, 14, Vico, 19 is Sakimi, 24, Ladriro, 27, Paoli, 45 Maki, 496 Wari, 7 Rayo, 73 Obrero, 8 Cesa, 84 Persephone, 87 Flor, and 95 Mania.
And so how we have got to here today because of this tournament structure that, you know, is not...
How did you get here today?
I got here Friday. I've been sightseeing.
Tears and a dream.
Lots of work. So it is, Argentina played Ireland yesterday and they won comprehensively 259 to 81.
Both of these teams had huge differentials yesterday, in fact.
And, you know, that was the difficulty with such variety in teams around the world. So day one, there was going to be lots of differentials, but it's getting down to the crunch time and a lot closer. Sweden beating Scotland 335 to 63. So yeah, 2 strong wins. We knew this was going to be tight. In 2014, Argentina came 8th, Sweden came 7th. In 2018, Argentina came 8th, Sweden came 7th. We have got positions in the quarterfinals are going to be decided based on this game. So, you know, this is why I think it's a bit of a preview.
And it's so wild to think about comparisons from year over year for World Cup, because the time frame is so long. So a lot of these names I recognize not just from those teams, but from WFTDA teams that have gone on to WFTDA playoffs and championships event. What was that about, Dork Mistress?
So the official review is Team Sweden are asking for a review on a potential skating out of bounds penalty.
Fascinating.
So the head referee, the fabulous denominator from Australia, is having the conversation with the team. So I think they're just finding out what is happening. And we will get an update from our colleagues as soon as we know a little bit more.
So the arena, I'm not sure if we're able to capture any of the shots of the arena yet this weekend, but it is basically half an Olympic arena, and it is just packed in the stands overlooking tracks 2 and 1 as we get back into gameplay, Dork Mistress.
So that no call stands, and as you say, I mean, and we apologize at home, the game on the other track is France-Finland, and it feels like most of France is in those stands, and it is incredibly loud. We hope you can almost hear the enjoyment and the passion, but also hear us.
Plenty of passion with that 3-wall. Oh, Sweden grabbing lead jammer status for the first time in this game, Dork Mistress.
Yes, absolutely, and it was so important, and it is Argentina also out of the pack.
Star pass for Argentina, in fact, from Flor, a hit on the outside. Sweden's going to grab those points and call it. Number 11,
Frauler, that was so textbook. And I think Argentina weren't ready for her to have come back so quickly.
Sweden definitely, in that official review, used some time to figure it out. They really have to control the pacing of gameplay, Dork, and I think they really figured some stuff out.
Yeah, that was evident that there was a change, because as we said, it had been a bit frantic, scrappy, not reforming quite quickly.
I love scrappy roller derby, though, I'm not going to lie. 404 Pardio, jamming for Sweden. 7 Rayo for Argentina. This wall a little bit discombobulated with the 3-person structure, gets torn apart by Sweden's jammer Pardio.
Yeah, that was great dynamic walling from Argentina, but number 12 from Sweden came in and just messed that up.
Yeah, and we have a helmet cover in hand for Argentina's Rayo. Sweden's Pardio is going to get through, call it in reverse for 4 points. Sweden coming back, striking back. So now the score is Argentina 14, Sweden 8.
So we have had 22 points in 8 minutes of gameplay.
And I really like the adjustments that Sweden has made. It's actually causing some real destruction on these formations for Argentina.
But then how are Argentina going to respond?
They're going to need, you know what, they're going to need to really control this pacing.
And they've got Vanilla Slice on the jam line for Sweden.
There is a penalty assessed. It is now a power jam and a lead jammer status assigned.
So that's the second power jam to Argentina so far in this game. That's a lot for 8 minutes.
And that's Wari taking an outside line, one to beat, pushing this formation apart. Now a 2-wall, returning to a 1, and that's going to be another 4 points. And it looks like an out-of-play engagement call for Sweden's blocker 817, Scandi Crush.
And this is actually the third power jam for Argentina, Alexis pointed me correctly. And, you know, we are into double digits on Sweden's penalties now.
Beautiful inside line control work over here from Argentina with 4 more points. You asked what Argentina was going to have to do to get back on this point scoring game, and they've done it.
Interestingly, I almost thought it was Sweden doing the blocking. They had, you know, left that outside line open, but that was to tempt the Sweden jammer in and then straight out.
Another 4 points for Argentina, and there is a star pass that's been initiated on Sweden's side. That is number 90, Vanilla Slice, who's got the star, but it's a call-off.
It was a helmet takeoff and re-put on. Yeah.
Was that not Pardio who was the jammer?
It was Vanilla Slice all the way through. Not just confusing Argentina.
Not just the friends we made along the way, but also a helmet cover as well.
Yes.
You have much sharper eyes than I do. Much appreciated. On the WFTDA star line, look, I'm not going to be able to do it. Start line. Oh, 1917. Cecchini for Argentina.
And again, we're just seeing that dynamic, ferocious defense from both teams.
A monster jam that last go-round, but Sweden is not done. Lead jammer status. That is number 17, Ebba Metz.
Again, a very famous name if you watch Crime City Rollers on a regular basis.
And I do.
Who doesn't?
Oh, beautiful work destroying that tripod at the back. Nice offense from Sweden. There's going to be a call, and that looks like a forearm sending Ebba Metz to the penalty box, the Sisu penalty box. And now we have 1917 back in action. Cecchini on a scoring run for Argentina.
And again, with the helmet cover taken off, gets that bit of confusion got through. We're seeing that quite a lot in this game.
A star stash,
yes.
It is referred to.
It is.
A second scoring run coming in for Argentina, getting forced to the inside and drawn back. The points right now, Argentina 30, Sweden 8.
And if you are a fan of old school roller derby, Argentina picking up that old hand-to-hand bracing as opposed to the more
I like that that's
grasping.
Old school now. We've been at this for a long time, Dork Mistress.
Hey, I remember knee starts.
Some offense from Sweden. Really trying to break apart that formation, somewhat successful.
And again, when you think about the first few jams, you had Sweden at the front and Argentina at the back, which was letting Argentina's jammers through. It's now switched. Sweden are taking that rear line.
And they are slowing Cecchini down, allowing their jammers some time to get 4 more points. So very slowly, Sweden striking back in this jam.
Yeah, definite feels like a bit of a momentum change underway.
That's a 4-point pass from Argentina. So the score, 34 for Argentina, Sweden 12, with 18 minutes on the clock for period 1.
At 46 points in 12 minutes. That's low. That is just...
Well, both of these teams had incredibly high-scoring first games, so that tracks pretty well. All right, on the jammer line, the WFTDI jammer line, we have 87 Floor for Argentina, 11 Frag for Sweden. And both of these tripod formations have figured a couple of things out. You had asked before what I was thinking should happen. I was going to say Sweden needs to get a little lower and dig into those tripods, and they've done just that. Now a 2-wall being forced apart up front by Floor.
And Argentina, also Double H, putting in offense to allow that sort of front push out to start.
We've got Hannah Satana leading that, and there is an out of engagement zone call, an out of play call. And lead jammer status goes to Argentina again.
That was a textbook definition, description view of how to bridge.
And beautiful offense work here in the mix from Argentina allows enough room for a 4-point pass. And now we've got the walls jammed up again, pushing forward. A little bit of discombobulation. We're not seeing really tight reformation of formation. That's really what we were talking about earlier. Getting those tripods, getting those two walls together faster is what Sweden's got to be able to do defensively.
Yeah, and I think that although we called it old school, the hand bracing with Argentina, it's allowing them to keep together a bit better.
Some of the stuff that they're able to accomplish really well, though, in their formations, their hip locking is excellent. They're able to do that nice seal to keep the jammers behind them.
So Sweden have the blocker advantage in this jam.
And we've got number 7, that is Rayo, on the line for Argentina. Is there a timeout?
It is, I believe, a team timeout for Argentina.
I think it's a good time to, because Sweden has figured some things out. Even if they're not always able to keep enough blockers on the track to do it, they understand that their defense is their bread and butter right now. We've got a score of Argentina 41, Sweden 12.
And this is a crash course team timeout. Crash course helps busy roller derby athletes increase strength, endurance, and agility, conquer self-doubt, and create the habits of high performers to become all-stars and MVPs on the track and in life. Want to make 2-minute jams feel easy? Visit chrissycrash.com to download the free Off-Skates roller derby training series, Life as a Contact Sport, Win. And Crash Course presents Derby in Paradise, a 7-day roller derby retreat to recharge your body, reignite your game, and connect with new roller derby friends on the coast of Nicaragua. Visit chrissycrash.com for dates and details.
How do I get a 2-minute jam to feel easy?
I have never found that trick.
That sounds amazing. Well, we have Pardio on the line for Sweden, and there looks like a little bit of conversation before, but that's number 7, Rayo, on the WFTDI start line for Argentina. Lead jammer status to Sweden.
I believe, is that the second time that they had lead jammer?
I believe it is
third. It's third. Thank you, Alex.
So now getting in front with a 3-wall. Oh, huge hit in the middle of the pack there from Balin of Sweden, doing some excellent offensive work for the jammer. And there is one to beat at the front. Sweden's able to get through for 4 more points. Oh,
and I know we've said that Sweden need to get closer together. I think in this jam they are doing that.
And Argentina is the one having some trouble reforming. Sweden doing a great job of keeping their wall moving, Dork Mistress.
And I think a lot of that is actually for this particular jam, there was a very big difference in body size. And I think that had an impact.
So I think one of the things Sweden's able to do well is their offensive blocking has been excellent the last few jams. And then they've really understood if they can speed Argentina's packs up, their lineups up, they're able to keep them from reforming. And so Argentina is going to need to try to fight that and stay slow and low to combat that. And it looks like we do have a timeout.
Okay, and it's a good chance to talk about that. So we're talking about momentum and Sweden and how they changed things up. First 4 jams, they did not score any points. Then they picked up the 4. Another couple of jams where they didn't pick up points, but then 4 and then 6. So they are
sporadically.
They're coming back into the game. That first 4 jams was a complete lockout by Argentina. And now they're sort of picking it up. How do we do this? And I think, that's why you just said all the things that you said.
Precisely. I think what's really exciting is watching Sweden's line work off the WFTDI start line. At first, they were trying to mix it up with 2 blockers in that back wall, that rear wall, and I think they figured out that they need to have as many bodies on that line as possible on the back, taking the back to slow Argentina down. And so Argentina up top, to your point about size, is now being pushed forward by Sweden's jammers. Although we're back in gameplay, 2 to beat at the top for Wari. Around the outside, though, not to be denied.
That was speed. The speed on that outside line made them unblockable.
Vanilla Slice nails the apex jump for 4 points at turn 2. And again, Argentina needing to reform quickly. Vanilla Slice not quite able to get in there fast enough, and that is going to be an initial pass for Argentina. So putting some heat on this jam is forcing a call off for 2 points on that pass.
What really struck me in that jam was the determination on both sides. Was you could taste it. You know, it was just putting. I know we say leaving everything on the track. They were putting everything they had into every block. And
but then when are they going to use next time?
Yeah.
What are they going to use next jam? If you use everything.
Yeah. But it really struck me as that sort of fierceness.
Yeah. So a little bit of a mixed line start for both of these teams. That is number 17, Ebba Metz for Sweden, and that is Sheba Baby for Argentina. So both of these walls having a tough time reforming, but Sweden's able to get it. Lead jammer status, Ebba Metz.
And again, Sweden taking that back line. The game has fundamentally changed for them when they switched that.
Speaking of lines, Ebba Metz trying to work that inside line and the outside line. Gorgeous toe stop work. And Argentina getting nice and low and digging into those tripods, able to get that ceiling in order to keep Ebba Metz behind.
Oh, stayed inside by the width of the tape.
Sheba finally able to get through for an initial pass. Looking at the bench, Ebba Metz decides to call it off, but has gotten all 4 points on that pass.
So that's taking them to 29 points to Sweden, 41 to Argentina. That's 12 points between them. It's so close, it's so tight.
It is.
Oh, I could not at this point predict who's even going to go into half-time in the lead.
I'm going to predict that it's an awesome game, but like it already is an awesome game. So my prediction is coming true right now. On the WFTDI start line, we have a little bit, again, mixed starts, where both teams are kind of mixed throughout. Floor jamming for Argentina, gets the inside line. A lead jammer status against Partio.
That was Argentina's 27, clearing that inside line.
Beautiful.
On their own.
So now we have a habit of star stashing. It looks like Partio's got the helmet cover in hand. 4 more points, though, for Argentina on this pass.
And I think this is, Argentina putting on multiple scoring passes is going to be so important to stop Sweden, make them change up again.
Able to make it through. Sweden's jammer finally able to do that. Partio with the helmet cover in hand. Looking behind, though, Floor's like, I'm going to call it. I think I have those points. And yes, 4 points on that pass. So I think really what Argentina is capitalizing is on that speed.
Yeah.
Because when they're able to get faster than Sweden, and I think Sweden has done the same thing to Argentina in terms of rushing them. So Sweden doing exactly what we were talking about again.
Yeah. Want that back line. That's central to their strategy right now.
And they have sort of like a Spino, number 14, on the outside, clearing and then able to act defensively to keep Argentina behind them while we have a lead jammer status for Vanilla Slice of Sweden.
Again, Vanilla, very well-known name from Crime City Rollers. And you can just see why everybody knows who Vanilla Slice is.
4-point pass. Speaking of anthems, Crime City Rollers. Sorry, I promised myself I wouldn't sing, and now here I've done it.
And, that was beautiful by Argentina. And Vanilla pushing them out front, but they get the hit out and recycle all the way back to the WFTDI jam line.
And I appreciate that Argentina kept that 4-person formation at the top because they knew defense, defense, defense is what has to happen now. Beautiful force out up top defensively.
But number 817 for Sweden getting the penalty for that hit. It looked big. It was unfortunately illegal.
And so they're doing a little bit of what we used to call a runting or a goat situation in the back, where they're pulling the pivot all the way back from Argentina. And I kind of like this strategy, Dork Mistress.
Yeah.
They're going to try to keep the pack in the back while Sweden's Vanilla Slice tries to fight forward.
But it's Argentina with all 4 blockers on track. Sweden now have an empty Sisu Mouse Guards penalty box.
Trying to clear some room on the inside line. Again, Argentina, when they're able to reform, are effective, but that pass, they were able to take advantage. Vanilla Slice for 4 more points.
But it did feel that they could have maybe kept Vanilla Slice a little bit back. They kind of went, no, they're gone, and they hadn't.
And here's the bridging that's happening. Gorgeous job. And it was number 8 who had the helmet cover in hand, Cesa, trying to fight through, but then also a bit of a runt and or a goat. So that was an intriguing jam.
Because you would normally see a goat when there's a power jam situation, because you want to make your jammer do less work while they are doing the laps. But to see it in sort of normal play, that's an interesting strategy. We have an official review called by Argentina. So while we are in that, maybe we can hear from one of our lovely sponsors.
I would love to be able to tell you about one of our lovely sponsors. And can we talk about Vilavoo? Vilavoo.art is a small, local, feminist, creative art and fashion label who wants to contribute to a cosmopolitan, colorful, enlightened, equal, and tolerant society. They use fair, ecological, and recycled materials and products. Vilavoo.art.
And what we can also talk about now is look at that score. That was the highest scoring jam for Sweden so far, and possibly the highest scoring jam of the game. 16 points now takes them to within 4 points of Argentina, and we're in an official review. And we saw how that was to the benefit of Sweden, even though they didn't get to keep their official review.
But let's talk a little bit about why that jam worked out so well for Sweden.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that's incredibly challenging is a star pass to a pivot who is either potentially in a challenging position within the pack or is not able to have the same effectiveness against that particular pack. And I think they just figured out how to trap Argentina's pivot right where they needed them, and it just worked out perfectly. So again, Sweden, when they have calm, methodical control, are really able to lock things down defensively for their jammer to go to work.
But they have to almost focus to do it, and they can't do it every jam. Whereas Argentina just speeds things up, and then that sort of, takes the control away from Sweden, and they can do that easily, and they don't have to that focus. They just go at Argentina's speed. So that is Argentina, who are looking for a high block on the Sweden jammer. I'm looking at Alex. One of the Sweden players.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
I wonder if they will find it. They're looking for it.
High blocks are one of the more difficult penalties to assess when you are a referee, because you are normally looking at feet and lines.
I was going to say it's very easy to assess as a player.
Yes.
Because you will feel the pain of it pretty quickly. But yes.
So in my spare time, which is copious, I do referee, and it's one of the things.
I don't believe you have copious spare time. It looks like it was not approved, so it was not accepted. So that is a lost challenge. But we are 8 minutes and 15 seconds in period 1 left,
and 4 points between the two teams.
Incredible. And we have Wari on the line for Argentina, and number 17, Eva Metz for Team Sweden. Eva getting pulled all the way back past turn 1. Wari trying to go to work on a tripod up front that turns into a 2-wall, pushing forward around the outside. Great line work here by Wari at the front.
Yeah, and it's Sweden's 817 entirely managed to hold back the Argentinian jammer there for, it's probably 15 seconds now.
2-wall at the back, holding Sweden's jammer, Eva Metz. Wari has one to beat at the front, beautifully pushing ahead. Sweden, though, gonna try. to pull Wari out and draw them back all the way to turn 1, it looks like.
Wadi with an excellent use of that rule that you can have one hand down and still stay in bounds. But Sweden on that second hit out, both hands went down, had to go back.
So Ebermetz, caught behind a tripod here, actually does a little tug on her helmet cover to see if perhaps that's something that needs to happen, but the pivot is all the way on the inside line, Dork Mistress.
And with that, a hugely important job for Nordberg of keeping Wari right to that outside line. Gone again.
Drawn all the way back to turn 1 again. What I'm liking about Argentina's blocking up front here, though, is that each one of these blockers individually in this formation is doing a great job of sealing to Ebermetz.
And it is, unfortunately, Sweden's pivot that has gone to the Sisu guard's penalty box. So there is no relief for Ebermetz on the track.
And there is no lead, and we have 7 seconds left, and both of these jammers have yet to break. Look how exhausted each of these jammers is on this jam. A scoreless, leadless jam.
So that is the second jam with no score, the first jam with no lead. And as somebody who I love blockers, I loved that jam. That jam was just, that's goals. That's gold.
The foundation of any single formation, tripod, four wall, is an individual blocker. And if you are not able to find that jammers with your hips, then you're not ever going to be able to have your walls work. That is number 87 jamming for Argentina, Floor, and Vanilla Slice still jamming for Sweden up front with, it looks like, 2 to beat.
And when you were just talking about that double H, you could see that the two Sweden blockers, it was their hips, not their shoulders, that was keeping back Floor.
Lead jammer for Sweden and able to score some points. So as you're saying, we have a 4-point differential here. Sweden looking to put points. Oh, comes back onto the track, but is not causing any problems. So we have a scoring run happening for Sweden and coming around. Oh, there's going to be a call-off on that.
Yeah.
Wisely done.
At this stage of the game. So
and it is a tie game. Argentina 49, Sweden 49. I don't know if you can hear Sweden's fans in the background, but there is a wall of yellow behind turns 3 and 4.
And because we are in a 5-track venue for this Roller Derby World Cup 2025, what you tend to find is when games are tight, suddenly the crowds come in and it is filling up here in this wonderful venue.
All right, we've got 11. Frale jamming for Sweden and Sekini for Argentina, who's really hopping around on that tripod at the WFTDI start line. Oh, and a penalty being assessed to Frale. So this is a power jam now, Argentina.
Oh, what a time to have a power jam.
Oh, and looking for some room on the inside, getting forced down the inside line and drawn all the way back to turn 4.
I felt that.
I think we all felt that. Yeah. Pushing forward, looking for some daylight. Sweden doing a good job reforming.
And Sweden's jammer now standing. So we are almost at the end of this 30-second penalty time for Sweden's jammer. And they are released now. So that is a penalty kill by Sweden.
Beautiful clock management there by Sweden's blockers.
Yeah.
And so Argentina trying to keep their tripod together up front. It keeps getting torn apart. And it sounded like there was a whistle and everybody was trying to figure out if it was this track or a different track.
Oh, it is.
Sekini drawn back again.
And Sweden's pivot has gone to the box for a cut.
So take a look. We have 34 seconds left in this jam, and we're still looking for daylight. So Argentina concentrating every one of their blockers at front. They are not dropping an offense yet to help their jammer out.
And Sweden are sending an offense, even though they have one in the Sisu guard's penalty box. That
was a brave move to send a one blocker from a 3-blocker formation up front, but it paid off for Sweden somewhat.
Oh, and the Swedish pivot goes back to the box, and that was a blocking with a head penalty.
We are locked, 49-49. Argentina, yes, and we have in the Sisu mouthguard track Discord lots and lots of fretting, lots of nail biting happening, Dork Mistress.
Some fantastic meme action there. Check out the Roller Derby World Cup 2025 Discord server if you haven't already.
Rayo for Argentina, number 7. Pardio, 4-4 with a spin move at turn 1. And it is going to be lead jammer Sweden.
So we have a lead for this is the 3rd jam it took to get a lead jammer.
Gorgeous speed control here. Sweden doing an amazing job mixing it up. Sweden's Vanilla Slice, apologies, Vanilla Slice.
Oh, I'm
is able to grab points. Argentina stealing points.
I think
it is a 1-point game. 53 Sweden, Argentina 52.
And you could see that Vanilla Slice was looking to the bench, thinking it was time to call it off, and that call off was a smidge too late.
Sometimes it happens, and both of these teams are understanding now that this is a speed control game.
1 minute to go in this first period.
I was psychic. Now Pardio's on the line against Wadi. And there's a tripod at the back holding Wadi. Pardio lead jammer for Sweden. And okay, we have under 2 minutes to go. Dork Mistress, Sweden 53, Argentina 52, busting apart the wall. Pardio for 4 points.
Sweden keen to see if they can get back to the pack first and pick up some more points, playing it long.
Wadi hop skip to get through for 4 points.
So Sweden really hoping that, feel they've got an extra point or 2.
Let's see if they do.
1 point.
Wow. A 1-point game. 2 points now. Sweden 58, Argentina 56. Dork Mistress, you called it when you said this was going to be a close game.
Yes, and that is half time. So we are, as you say, Double H, Argentina on 56, Sweden on 58.
I am sweating.
Oh my. And it's not from the venue.
I was going to say, this room is well air conditioned. Some of the other tracks are steamy.
Yeah, but this is fantastic.
But not the Sisu mouthguard track.
Right, so we will come back to you in about 13 and a half minutes and we can discuss what we just happened.
I cannot wait.
I need that time to process it.
I'm going to need that time to find a towel to beat the sweat off of my head.
I have been Dork Mistress.
And I am still Double H.
The S1 Pro knee pad is built to last and perform, blending highly durable fabrics and materials into an innovative design with exceptional craftsmanship. We use a very tough, military-grade ballistic nylon for the outer shell material. We triple-stitched every seam to prevent blowouts and reinforced all of the straps with additional stitching. Our top straps are made with a high-retention elastic that minimizes excessive stretching and incorporates a length adjustment system to allow you to lengthen or shorten the top strap. The inner knee cup mold is streamlined and deep-fitting and features a 4-tiered foam system combining varying densities of foam with shock-dispersing foam to achieve both shock reduction and comfort on impact. The inner foam layer is a high-rebound memory foam which absorbs shock and molds to your knee on impact, stabilizing the knee, helping to prevent slippage. Our kneecap has a flat surface that supports stability on impact and is made with a high abrasion polycarbonate plastic for durability. The S1 Pro knee pad: stability, durability, functionality.
First rule of Sisu is wearing a mouth guard is cool. Say the word. Sisu! Second rule of Sisu is use a thin mouth guard, not a big old gummy one. Say the word. Sisu! Third rule, pick your Sisu style. Fourth rule, talk, breathe, drink easily. Sisu, Sisu, Sisu! The final rule of Sisu is, unlike others, you've got up to 20 times to remold it. Who's got Sisu? Sisu!
They call it a sport, but we know better. It's a symphony of dedication, grit, and heart. Tuned to one another in a composition of chaos on a stage built for progress. Athletes athlete-driven innovation from the first whistle to the final score. Every hit, every fall, every win, every loss, every team, every season, every body. We've got you covered.
This is the totally redesigned Lifer Visor helmet from S1. Featuring our patented Fusion foam, this helmet has the impact protection you've come to expect from an S1 helmet and is both multiple impact and high impact certified. Our new custom visor is made with a high impact polycarbonate lens, which is optically correct and features our patented cover catcher, which allows for multiple covers to be worn with easy on-off. The outside lens has an anti-scratch coating, while the inside has an anti-fog coating. The outer shell is equipped with in-mold mounting hardware so that the visor can be removed and replaced if needed. The S1 Lifer Visor Helmet, where innovation and function are actualized.
Back to this incredible game, Argentina versus Sweden. I'm Door Mistress.
I'm Double H still, even after the break.
And we have Alexis is on fire, who is our incredible producer, who's given us the stats behind the story of this first half. Oh, Lord.
What an incredible first half. We're coming back. Sweden is 58, Argentina 56. This is a 2-point game. What can you tell us about it, Torque Mistress?
So when you look at Argentina, they've got 4 main jammers, or 4 main jammer rotation, who have, on the whole, been picking up more per jam as a group. So about 3 points per jam for each of their jammers. 31% of lead and 2.9 average points per jam. Only 10% that they did not get lead. But Sweden, it is one jammer who's standing out. It's Vanilla Slice, picking up 5 points per jammer on average.
All right. We are going to get underway in just a second. About 18 seconds left before we start gameplay. Any thoughts about what we're going to see in the second period?
I think we're going to see, as we have in the first, constantly changing strategy.
Yes, because you have to. You have to be flexible enough to be able to figure out what the other team is going to do. And both of these teams have done a great job in that so far. And that is Vanilla Slice and Floor jamming for Sweden and Argentina, respectively. Argentina coming through the inside line really quick for lead jammer status.
The positional blocking of where the Argentinian pack was meant that the inside line was clear.
So Floor getting hung up behind a few blockers from Sweden is going to do a call off to try to preserve that scoring opportunity. So now we are at a tied bout. Argentina 58, Sweden 58. Is it going to give us the heart trouble for the next 30 minutes that I think it's going to?
Who needs to go to the gym, watch this game, and get your cardio workout all in one go?
Oh my goodness. On the WFTDI start line, for Sweden we have Ebba Metz, and for Argentina we are going to see Rayo.
And these first few minutes are always so crucial.
Gorgeous.
It's Argentina with the lead jammer.
Picking through blockers like selecting clothes out of a closet. Coming back up to a tripod is Rayo in the back. And so Sweden here able to capitalize on individual blocking. As we've been saying, Dork Mistress, yes, these formations are tight, but it's every individual blocker who's doing that work.
And the speed that the Argentinian blockers are covering the track is incredible.
A penalty for one of Argentina's blockers, a star stash by Ebba Metz, as Rayo is able to get through for 4 more points. So now Argentina takes the lead.
So that's the second jam in this half, and that's the second jam Argentina has scored points.
This is going to, are we going to go back and forth like this, do you believe?
This jam is crucial, I think, for that psychological element. Is it going to be back and forth, or are Argentina going to come back from halftime having changed it up again and establish a lead?
And we've got Vari and Vanilla Slice on the WFTDI start lines for their squads. Only 2 blockers for Sweden, now joined by a third. And in the back, trying to reform, but cannot catch Fenella Slice. Argentina's formation just ripped apart there. And now Vari has the helmet cover in hand as Fenella Slice looking for some assessment, and then finally some offense. Is not able to get it fast enough before Vari can get through for an initial pass. And a call off from Sweden. And here we have 3 points. So it is a 1-point game. 62 Argentina, 61 Sweden.
But so important for Sweden to have picked up the points and not let Argentina have 3 or 4 jams in a row in control.
And I think Argentina is really going to need to nail that reforming of their formations to really keep Sweden locked down in this period.
As you say, Double H, it is a speed control game.
It is a speed control game. And so we have Pardio breaking through the inside of that formation. Lead jammer for Sweden. And Argentina trying to reform is able to capture Pardio, but Pardio really hustling ahead and able to break up that formation nicely. But here's a drawback. And so Argentina desperately needing to reform, but there's only a reforming at the front, and it's almost a little too late as Pardio makes it through for another 4 points.
But we saw this earlier in the first period. There was that one jam where Sweden took that approach of keeping the Argentina pivot at the back.
And it is a power jam. Floor is in the box for Argentina, but Sweden is going to ice Floor in the box. Floor is standing, so we will start with a power start. And it looks like Sweden is going to put Fenella Slice back on that line. Why not?
I mean, this is what the stats show. Fenella Slice is their highest scoring jammer by far. Highest scoring jammer across the whole game. So you're going to put your best out in a time like this.
So Sweden, is that why we're calling together?
Obviously.
I kid. All right, so it's a power start for Sweden. Fenella Slice comes up against a 3-wall that is desperately trying to reform at the pivot line. Getting knocked down a bit, but Fenella Slice locked down strategically at the front. And meanwhile, Floor is back on the track, jamming for Argentina at the back, looking for some daylight on the outside line.
Offense going in from Sweden.
Another penalty, sending Floor back to the penalty box. And so another power jam situation here. Blockers going to the penalty box. Let's see. For Argentina. So this is now a tripod of blockers.
But Sweden also with blockers in the Sisu guards penalty box. It was a forearms for Floor.
Okay, so they were trying to reset with a 2-person formation at the front, 1 at the back. Argentina only has 3 blockers. They're going to need to stay together. Only setting up on the turn is an answer. I was going to say it's an opportunity for physics to do a lot of work on Fenella Slice's behalf. And Fenella Slice using that momentum to try to slice through this 3-wall, and now blockers back on the track. So we have a full 4 on the floor for Argentina. Fenella Slice still trying to push this 4-person formation forward. Sweden 71 points, Argentina 62. Sweden broadening their lead here. And that is going to be a star pass that was initiated for Argentina, which I think was a great call, because if you've got a jammer who goes to the box twice in one jam,
get them off.
Get them off. Nerves, regardless of whether or not they can be effective, sometimes nerves are your worst enemy.
Or just a moment. You just, it is already day 2 of a 4-day tournament. And I think
there's a lot of roller derby left to play.
There's a lot of focus, adrenaline, nerves, all of these things coming into play. So it is 73 points to Sweden, 62 points to Argentina.
And we have jam in progress. Now, Argentina really trying to keep those 3-person formations together, but not quite settling into a locked down situation with Eva Metz. Rayo is in that back tripod.
And both teams have a blocker in the Sisu guards penalty box.
So nice. I think Argentina's doing a great job of locking down Ibáñez. That's what they're going to need to do. Now, Ibáñez has gotten offense from blockers behind her in the past, and that is where Argentina really needs to watch. And okay, a little bit of offense coming on the inside from number 03, Timas.
Now, obviously, until just now, it was really interesting to watch how Ibáñez was covering the whole track and the Argentine wall was moving. And Sweden had got Rayo absolutely locked down and was not moving.
Oh, nice. Nice recycling and drawn to the inside. Lead jammer status does go to Ibáñez, although there's been a recycle, so has to fight back through the pack.
But is in control of the timing of the game.
And Argentina does a great job covering the track laterally, but Ibáñez able to use that momentum to pivot around them and gets forced out of bounds and drawn back. And there is a blocking to the head penalty being assessed on a blocker for Argentina. Speeding through the inside, though, is Rayo.
But that lead jammer status for Ibáñez was vital, because in that scenario, Argentina would have picked up points. So hugely important, great call off.
There's still some conversation happening at turn 2 and 3 between several officials. I'm wondering if we're going to see any type of timeout.
It is deep and thoughtful conversation.
And it is, yes. It looks like an official timeout that's happening.
Yeah.
Ooh, we need to towel ourselves down, Dork Mistress. All right, so Sweden 73, Argentina 62. And we have some information to take a look at.
Yeah, so it's our lovely producer Alexis on Fire is pointing out that that's the second time that Sweden have been able to call it off when they've had the sort of the power of the lead jammer, but there's been no points. So it's not usual if you look at the stats that you get lead jammer and then there's a 0 next to your name. But that's the second time that's happened to Sweden.
That's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, this is so tight. 73 points to Sweden, now 62 to Argentina. And
I'm so glad to be here with you, Dork Mistress. I'm so glad we're having this moment here.
I know. And we have both teams still with a blocker in the box, and that doesn't seem to have changed. But the officials are going back into position.
So over on the Roller Derby World Cup Discord for the Track 2 Sisu Mouthguard track 2, we've got Tofu Treble says, seems to allow relatively small blockers cover a lot of track vertically and horizontally. I agree with that. Where Sweden has been able to capitalize on that, though, is really using the natural curvature of your hips to hook around. And I think that's the one danger. If you are turning sideways as a blocker to try to get laterally, you have to make sure you've got that hip coverage against that jammer.
Okay. And I know we are underway again. So, and I think you're absolutely right. And the difference is Sweden can hold and not move across the track. Argentina are having to match the jammer right across the track.
And Wari powering forward, gets an out of play assessed against Sweden to get through to become lead jammer for Argentina. Coming around the outside.
Because it was actually Sweden's jammer who went to the box. That was the result.
You know what? I have a theory about this. But we'll talk about it later. Coming around for a scoring pass. Wari over at turn 4, looking for some room on the outside for toe stops. Meanwhile, Argentina at turn 4 trying to reform, able to do so. All right, so here we go. 4 points on the board. Wari takes a look at the scoreboard, locks in, gets back to the next scoring pass, which they are looking to get successfully through on the outside.
Oh, and that was a fantastic hit by 666, forcing that recycle.
Hannah Satana from Sweden. Wari has to get additional points, so that's 4 more points. So it is a 3-point game now, Dork Mistress.
I
just
can't even.
Like that.
Oh, I I can't even.
And there's a skater down at turn 4. Vardy is able to get through. And there's a lead jammer status, but I do think there's a call-off for injury. How about that? Argentina, 74. Sweden, 73.
I can't breathe properly. Like, I can't breathe deeply. I'm just like, oh. I'm not sure there's a technical term for that, but
it's roller derby. That's what the technical term is. We are roller derbying harder than almost anyone on the planet right now.
And there is an official timeout, I think, for all of the shenanigans at the end.
Quite a few shenanigans.
And I think it's just worth noting that we would see this level of tactics, at a league level, at the highest levels of WFTDA play.
Yes.
You have to remember that these are not a league that gets to train together months and years, week on,
I will say that Sweden, for example, is a team that has a concentration of players who typically do play together within reasonable driving distance.
But they have skaters from Bear City, Västerås, Gothenburg, Stockholm.
Oh, Bear City is an literally an easy jet away.
Yeah. And, so Argentina, 6 teams from Argentina are in this team. But to put it in perspective, there is also a financial commitment element. Argentina, to come here, just the ticket, the flight ticket, is 3 months' salary.
We talk about currency fluctuations as well. Sometimes it might be 2 months, sometimes it might be 4 months. It could be, and you don't ever know. And so the planning that has to go into something like this.
And that can impact who can come.
Correct.
So quick shout out also to Blood and Thunder. Blood and Thunder is a roller derby inspired apparel brand since 2006. Go to bloodandthundermag.com for all the good stuff.
As always, Blood and Thunder Mag has the good stuff.
They do,
and they are for like 2 decades now.
Okay, that was.
It looks like a cutting the track penalty.
Oh, yeah.
And there's some conversation from the officials.
Yeah. So, and there was also a medical call out to the Sisu guards penalty box.
Yes,
that was why it was so long.
Thought.
Yeah.
And that's reasonable. We want, you know what? It was right near the WFTDI start line. And let me tell you, WFTDI is all about safety.
Yeah. As are we all. Safety and I've seen the video, Obama said safety is sexy.
It is very sexy. It is maybe the only American thing that is sexy right now is safety.
So where are we, Double H?
We are with Floor and Vanilla Slice tearing through the front of the pack. Vanilla Slice, lead jammer for Sweden. It's a 1-point game. Argentina with 1.74. But Vanilla Slice coming up against this tripod of Argentina is able to find some room, and that's a 4-point pass.
And that's the 3rd lead change in this period.
Lead changes are also sexy, and we have a lot of them here in this game, right through the middle of the pack. Gonna get forced to the inside. I was gonna say on toe stops. Vanilla Slice playing it safe. 77, gets to 80 points for Sweden. Argentina 74.
Yeah, and it's Argentina calling an official review, and we'll find out more details on that shortly. And you have to play it safe. So 7 points of Sweden takes into 80 points. Only 6 points ahead of Argentina. We still have 18 minutes left of the game.
Yes.
You have to play it so safe.
And you're basically one power jam away from blowing the entire game if you miscalculate, to your point,
not
right?
Not even a power jam, one error.
It's true.
One error that lets somebody do a couple of scoring passes and they're in the lead again.
So in our Discord chat, which we hope you will join for Roller Derby World Cup 2025 over on the Sisu Mouthguard track, we have Purple Pain saying, I am exhausted. Maverick says, what a jam. But I feel like, which jam are you talking about? Because it's every jam that I've seen so far.
What a game. So, some fabulous stats. So Argentina in the second period, they have had lead 25% of the time, and only 10% has there been no lead.
Incredible.
So we're just about to find out what that official review is for. And if you look, the Argentinian coach in the middle and the
leading the cheer.
Absolutely going insane. So Argentina are looking for a cut track on the jammer at the end of that jam.
No, I'm not an official, but I'm going to say no, because that's exactly what happened. That Vanilla Slice made it through, realized they had put a toe stop down on the outside, and then a skate wheel, and then pulled themselves off the track. So from my perspective, and as the armchair official.
Yeah. Now, it all does depend on position, and where that happened, we have a excellent position.
Yes.
So I can...
Not always.
Not always.
We are not omniscient.
Always. But I agree with you. I expect that the referees will probably have a similar opinion.
With 6 points on the line, it is going to be a no call.
It was a no call.
So we were right. We did okay.
Right.
We did okay.
Yeah.
We have enough officiating experience between us to give informed, let's call it opinions.
So, yes, and we had the position. So, yes, that is a no-call stand. But, again, it's an interruption. Sweden just took the lead again, put some points on.
Which is exactly why I think Argentina took that official review.
Yeah.
It was less about what they thought was actually happening on the track and more about slowing Sweden down.
Yeah. It's taking the oxygen away at that point of, like, we're about to run away with it.
Yep.
Take the oxygen out of the room.
And, you know, Argentina still has 2 timeouts if they want it. So taking that official review, I think, was a reasonable call for them. It gave a nice amount of time to reset. We've got Pardio for Sweden and Rayo for Argentina.
That pleases me.
Which part?
The rhymingness of the names.
Oh, yes. Pardio, Rayo.
Yeah.
And so now it looks like Pardio turning around to see if they could get some offense. And Rayo is able to make it through to become lead jammer. Okay, Sweden 80, Argentina 74. We need every single point if we're Argentina, and coming around the outside.
And we talked about an error, and I think it was letting Rayo out. You could see that Rayo just outsped the blockers. That error, and we are now on 4 points of that gap closed down from 1 second of inattention.
Pardio pulling the helmet cover off, and Rayo able to come into the middle of a tripod, looks behind to see what's going on, if there's any opportunity for offense, and Rayo swinging hips around to grab points. Even if it looks like there's nothing happening, Rayo is scoring points with those hips. And so pulled back to turn 1, getting a little hit of offense on both lines, is able to get Rayo through to call it. And it looks like they were able to do it in time to prevent Sweden to score. Yes, 3 points for Argentina. Where are we score-wise?
It's a lead change. Argentina picking up 7 points, taking them to 81. Sweden at 80. I can't hear. The crowd is so loud.
16 minutes left in this game. The crowd is exploding as we come into this jam. Sweden 80, Argentina up by 1 point. Vardy on the WFTDI start line against Vanilla Slice.
And the crowd's increasing. People are trickling in as they're hearing about this game. It is right up to the top of the seating now.
And if I'm Sweden, Vanilla Slice is the jammer I want in this exact jam, because I would want to close this gap. Vardy in the back, doing work on a very loose formation, but great individual blocking, is able to get to the outside line and about as far as that before getting completely reabsorbed by Sweden. And a power jam now going to Argentina. Vanilla Slice In the penalty box, lead jammer, Vari.
But also Argentina doing a hit out and recycle on a blocker to shorten the distance for Wari to come back to the pack. Very smart tactics.
So Wari looking for a little bit of offense, gets a couple hits. All right, every single point counts in this game. Argentina pushing open the wall of blockers for 4 more points.
I have got goosebumps, like the chills are going.
I can't feel anything. I'm so excited. Sweden with a 4-wall to try to reabsorb Barty. And now they're trying to drop back to see if they can provide any offense. But Sweden's blockers are right there to keep Argentina at bay.
Unable to keep static. Then, they're able to lock down Wari so far. Oh.
And it looks... Are we eating the baby?
We are.
Ow! It looks like we are eating the baby. I cannot be more excited, Dork Mistress. Wowdy is still lead jammer and eyeing carefully how close. Oh, an apex jump, but there's no helmet cover on the jammer. So there will be no points, Dork Mistress. That was the most exciting jam of the game.
Oh, because I looked, we had the position, and the apex jump was landed legally, but no helmet cover on. Because I looked, how is it no completion?
So
no helmet cover. I can't breathe.
I wrote a book, Dork Mistress, and it's called "Don't Let Them Eat the Baby," and that is exactly why. All right, number 17, jamming Ava Metz for Team Sweden. Okay, floor for Team Argentina.
Yeah.
I apologize. You were saying?
No, I was just admiring how you
how I like wrapped my book in there. We'll talk about that in a second. Oh, and there's some conversation. Ava Metz is not lead jammer, is going to the penalty box for a forearm. And this is floor. Now, in a power jam, Argentina 86, Sweden 80.
Opening up a lead now is everything on Argentina's mind.
And what did we say? One power jam can be absolutely disastrous in this situation. Now, Argentina needs to get in there and bust up this wall or create this destruction situation that you see in front of you right now, Dork Mistress.
And I think this is the second error, and Argentina have been able to, absolutely capitalize on it.
All right, Floor is able to grab 4 points. And it does look like Ava Metz is back from the Sisu mouthguard penalty box. So,
and what's interesting, our producer, our producer is pointing out that when Argentina have the ability, they're scoring big.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. And Sweden are being more consistent, jam by jam, but they're not pulling out these multiple scoring passes. See Argentina picking up 7 points in that last jam, takes them to 93, Sweden on 80.
That was a huge jam.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm Sweden, I'm going to take a team timeout. Oh, and here we go.
Oh,
it's like I wrote this game. No, I'm just kidding.
I've benched the 9. I was like, exactly.
Yeah, because Argentina has so much momentum, they really are going to want to slow it down.
Yeah.
So can we talk for a quick second? You want to give a couple of reads?
So it is a Crash Course team timeout. Crash Course helps busy roller derby athletes increase strength, endurance, and agility, conquer self-doubt, and create the habits of high performers to become all-stars and MVPs on the track and in life. Want to make 2-minute jams feel easy? Visit chrissycrash.com to download the free Off-Skates roller derby training series. Life is a contact sport. Win. And Crash Course presents Derby in Paradise, a 7-day roller derby retreat to recharge your body, reignite your game, and connect with new roller derby friends on the coast of Nicaragua. Visit chrissycrash.com for dates and details.
Amazing. So yeah, folks in the Discord chat are talking about Eat the Baby. So I used to run roller derby. I used to run the WFTDA. I wrote a book called Don't Let Them Eat the Baby. Yeah. And I think that was actually a really good example of why. Because it's a strategy where you're really burning a ton of clock. And it's a great way to do it. Rayo through for Argentina. 93 points to Team Sweden's 80. So Vanilla Slice with a star stash on that one. And Rayo now on a scoring run turns around and calls it immediately. We are playing hit it and quit it roller derby right now.
And that's all you can do when it's so tight. That is all that you can do.
Literally all you can do. I'm so excited. So I'm here this weekend to sort of talk about the book.
Yeah.
But to be able to call roller derby with you is so incredible because we've known each other for such a long time, like many of the skaters on this team.
You are partially responsible for me being here.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah.
I'm
with one of my mentors.
Should I apologize for that?
Maybe to the audience?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Partio through. Lead jammer, Team Sweden. Absolutely wide open center lane. Shiba Baby jamming for Argentina. And that is going to be a star stash for Shiba Baby just to get through. But Partio coming into a 2-wall that's getting torn apart of Argentina on 1 foot calls it off for Sweden to grab 4 points. And I think that was the exact strategy that Sweden now both teams playing hit it and quit it, Dork.
Yeah. And it, we were saying it's these big jams with Argentina where it's 7, 8, points. But neither team is really going to be trying to let the other team do that. So it is hit it and quit it.
I love it. Well, I'm excited to be hitting this game with you.
But we have only 10 minutes left in this game.
And pushing right through the middle again. Floor, that center sight line, doing really well for Argentina off the line these last couple of jams. We've got Vanilla Slice hung up in the back. Coming around for a scoring pass. Floor trying to do a little bit of, looks like defensive blocking at the same time, is taken out. Jammer on jammer action. Are we going to eat the baby again? Dork Mistress, we're going to try.
No, because Argentina
Floor is not going for it. Floor is like,
no.
I'd rather stand here for a minute and a half than play your game. And I love this.
Yeah. And that's the strategy that's come out. It was eat the baby. And then they just go, you know what? I am not playing your game. I'd rather burn time than my energy.
So we have had jams like this a very long time ago. This is a very old technique that jammers had used to try to draw back other jammers. And really, I think audiences did not like it because it meant a lot of static roller derby. And so I think Sweden did the right thing by getting the jam back in action with just about 48 seconds left on this clock.
And what's interestingly is that in these last few jams where Argentina are open this lead, Argentina had a 25% lead jammer average. It's now up to 42% of the jams. So, it's just showing that they've taken control of this section of the game.
And so Floor does have lead, but is completely locked down by a 4-person, now a 3-person. Okay, so dropping back to play some offense is Nordberg before rejoining. And so locked down at the front, Floor fighting a tripod forward. And that is going to be a star pass to Nordberg. Again, Floor is lead. And so there's some calls from the bench.
Oh, how many points? Oh, nothing for Sweden. I thought there might be some sneaky pocket points.
I was a little bit afraid that was going to happen. But Argentina, 100. Look at this point opening here. Argentina 100 to Sweden's 84. 7 minutes and 44 seconds left in the game. If you're not watching this game, what are you doing?
Watching the 4 other games that are on at this time.
No.
So this was the first star pass for Sweden.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Plenty of star stashes. Speaking of star stashing, Partio on the inside line for Team Sweden.
I am such a fan of positional blocking on the inside.
Tons of star stashing in this game, though, I will say.
Yeah. And because it's been effective. And you would expect it not to be, but it's been really effective.
Ripping open through the middle lane. Partio putting more points on the board, so it is now only a 12-point gap. Sweden trying to get back into this scoring game and hold to the outside line. Oh, a penalty. This is now a power jam in favor of Argentina again. So Rayo able to make it through. Star Stash, helmet cover in hand, coming in on a scoring run. And again, it's a 12-point game. Every single point counts.
And it's also going to be a 2-minute jam.
We loved, wait, you know who loves 2-minute jams?
Who loves 2-minute jams?
A, not me, B, Chrissy Crash.
Yes.
And is going to teach me how to love it, though. So I'm,
Yes.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. And a trip to Nicaragua would be lovely.
I know.
Yeah. So, as we said, 2-minute jam. And so it is Partio who's just taking a bit of a breather before trying to face that Argentina wall.
And if you're Floor right now, you have to do this 2 minutes and grabbing 4 points. But honestly, doing an amazing job is Ryo. This is a clock management game right now, Dork Mistress. Before it was a speed game, now it is clock management as Partio gets through.
And I think that's the thing with hit it and quit it. It eats up so much of the period clock just for 4 points. That this kind of stuff is the thing that we all want to see as spectators.
Floor coming into the back of the pack, hips first, to try to wrap those hips around and grab as many points as possible. Partio, though, finding some room on the inside line.
And that's the jam.
Incredible.
But
there's a multiplayer conversation?
No, I'm looking at the points, and I believe Argentina won that jam, picking up 11 points, Sweden picking up 9, so it is now 93 playing 1-1-1.
1-1-1.
1-1-1.
The universe is trying to tell us something, Dork Mistress. We should call more games together.
Absolutely. You'd need to come back and do more.
I guess I do have to,
Yeah,
don't
you
I?
do.
Now
You
I
do.
have to come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of coming back, Vardy and Vanilla Slice, 2 jammers who have been very persistent for their teams today. We have under 5 minutes left in this game. Argentina 111, Sweden 93.
Just look at the grind.
A serious grind. Argentina, a 4-wall getting reduced to a 3, is doing some excellent blocking, forced to bridge though. Nice recycle work.
And the bridge collapses, but it's still just 2 Argentina blockers up front.
Lead jammer, Vanilla Slice. And now we have an opportunity. Setting up on the turn, we've got Vardy going to the penalty box. We've got a power jam in progress, and Sweden is pushing this wall forward, and they've been able to disrupt that formation quickly with speed today, Dork Mistress.
And it's a power jam when they're already on a scoring pass.
And that's going to be another 4-point pass for Sweden. So now 111, Argentina, Sweden 97. And so Argentina's going to try to maintain their formation as Sweden tries to hustle them forward. And you see this speed that they're taking up. That's exactly what Sweden wants, because that's where the holes happen.
Now, I thought that Sweden would try and get 1 point and call it so that they would keep the lead jammer. They did not. Larry is now back on track.
It would have been helpful, but I also think that at this point, they have to try everything that they can think of. So we've got a formation at the front, and Vardy is pushing against it. And this is between turns 1 and 2, and there's a star pass. What did you say? How many star passes have we seen today so far? This is Persephone.
But it forces the jam to be called. But it is Sweden, second scoring pass complete, taking them to 8 points. They are now just 10 points behind Argentina.
Ooh.
We have 3 minutes left in the period clock.
3 minutes, 2 team timeouts for Sweden, 1 official review for Sweden, 2 team timeouts for Argentina. If I'm either one of these teams, I want to slow this game down as much as I possibly can. So I expect to see some of those timeouts taken.
And look at that WFTDI start line. Oh, it was so packed.
All right, pushing forward. Lead jammer, Eva Metz for Team Sweden. Floor for Argentina is caught in the mix and is looking for a star pass, not quite able to find their pivot and able to push forward. Eva Metz getting to the outside line, hung up again behind a tripod at turn 2 that turns into a 4-wall. Argentina has to throw everything in front of these jammers now.
But Eba Metz has points in the pocket now.
And is still stuck in this grind. And again, this is the clock management conversation we were having. This is defense.
Do you call it now and set up again, or do you play it out? And the star-studded
I would not waste this time. I would call it immediately.
Yeah,
This is wasting time right now, in my opinion. If I were Team Sweden, there we go. If I were Team Sweden, I would not wait all the way because we have 1 minute and 43 seconds left. We've got a 111 game for Argentina, Sweden 105. I can't believe there's not a timeout happening right now.
I agree with you, and I agree that Sweden should have called that 10 seconds earlier, because 10 seconds is going to count in this last couple of...
These teams need every single one of these seconds.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
And it's going to come from
Argentina.
All right. I think this is the right call.
Yeah.
I think this game has to get slowed down. I think these teams need to regroup and focus. Argentina.
But again, Argentina waiting to the absolute last second to call that time off. And the house is erupting. So the other game, Finland, France, has just finished on the other track. They are all now over here.
Yes.
This is now, you can see that the crowd has spread past our track into the other, trying to get in and see what's going on.
It's incredible. The energy in here is electric. And I'm also like completely gobsmacked that I actually have seen not one, but 2 attempts to eat the baby in this game. Can I tell you that, like, I talk about this in the book because it's such a wild strategy to try to draw the jammer all the way around the track. Yeah. It's a huge time waste.
But it's also not that common anymore.
No, and that's why I don't even know how many of these skaters know about it. And it's so exciting to see. It's generational roller derby.
And we are there now, which just makes me feel old. But we are getting
like grandmothers like me.
Getting underway again. So 6-point game. 1 minute 25 on the clock. 1:15 on the clock.
And we've got Vanilla Slice against Rayo. So now this is a clock game. We've got 1:08 on the clock. And so both teams really trying to control and lock down these jammers. It looks like, Argentina's going to lose a blocker, so we're 3-on-3, and that's successful. Now, if I'm Argentina, I'm going to want to try to draw my opposing jammer back as far as possible, and they get a little bit far before reforming. And they're trying to draw the cut, and they are not successful. Team Sweden, lead jammer for Vanilla Slice. And we have 1 minute and 15 seconds left. Vanilla Slice knows this, has to be careful and economical with every single second on this clock. And so getting some assistance.
So we are going to go for second scoring pass.
So this is another 4 points for Team Sweden.
Because Rayo is still on initial. So Vanilla has just 3 points to get.
Argentina has to throw everything they've got into defense right now, and it will not be enough. Team Sweden, 4 more points, has taken the lead, and Vanilla Slice knows they do not have the points. Argentina does not have the points, and Vanilla Slice looking behind me saying, what do I do? Do I call it now?
We are under 30 seconds on the period clock.
Still has not been a scoring pass. And so, Vanilla Slice coming through in a big, big way for Team Sweden.
And I'm watching the Argentina coach come in and talk to the head official. And you know what I think that discussion is about? I really wish I hadn't used my official review.
I understand that feeling, and it resonates deeply. Now, we're still in unofficial, but Sweden 113, Argentina 111. I cannot believe the roller derby that I've seen here today. I really think that it's so exciting to see some of the older strategies come back into vogue.
But this is the 3rd World Cup in a row where Sweden has beaten Argentina.
Which is incredible. Yeah. And I think the point differential, we are talking about 2 points.
And in 2018, it was 50 points.
What an incredible road for both of these teams to be able to get here and compete. Dork Mistress, we survived a pandemic.
Yep.
We survived a bunch of reorganization. We survived.
And it is now official that is the score. We've survived.
We survived, period.
Yeah, we
Roller
survived
derby
this.
has survived.
And we survived this game because it gave me all of the cardio going on.
I am so excited to be able to have called this game with you.
It's been a dream.
Roller Derby World Cup 2025 Discord chat is just as excited as we are. Holy moly, amazing game. Gutted for Argentina, but also pleased for Sweden. I feel the exact same way.
And we have been honored to be sharing this with the
Oh my
audience here
goodness.
and the Discord server watching at home. We know there's about 4,000 people.
Oh, just a few folks
watching across the games today, but I really hope all 4,000 of them were on this one.
I'm so excited that we got the opportunity to call together finally.
And now we have to end it.
Oh, well, no, it's not goodbye. It's just see you later, right?
Yeah. And I will still be Dork Mistress.
And I hope to always be Double H.
And we've had the wonderful Alexis on fire helping us with this. So the next game will be coming up very shortly. And
you're going to need a break. You're going to need some water. You're going to have to hydrate. You need a snack.
Yep. And to my eternal shame, I don't know who's on next.
Oh, you don't know it? You don't have it memorized?
No, because it only got released last night. So,
all right, well.
Yeah. Okay, we will see you for another incredible game here in probably 35 to 40 minutes.
Meet us right back here.